Hello and welcome to Rule the Waves 3, playing as Japan on Super Large Plus Plus, starting 1890. We made it to 1916. That's impressive. It's a time of peace and stability. Now, tensions are pretty high, especially with Great Britain. But we're gonna go through the year, starting with the review. We're gonna design quite a few ships and have even more sort of concept talks. There will be some aircraft development if you're interested in that, and I will have a little bit of a rant regarding how the prestige system interacts with officers and events and all of that. So let's jump in. So we start the new year with our usual presentation. So let's get it rolling. 1916. Brave New World. So, the rebellions in China have actually played out, and we lost Shanghai and Liaotong Peninsula, but kept Tsingtao and Hainan. So now the High Command, they are paranoid, and they have ordered more fortifications to be constructed in key areas, starting with China and Korea. Very close to some form of conflict with European powers. The dream here is to fight Great Britain and seize Hong Kong for the basing, and Burma for the oil, since we can't seem to get Sumatra in an event. Now, we had an alliance attempt with the US, but despite zero tension, the dice gods were not with us. Spain and Italy remain eternal friends. No more techs stolen. Keeping a high rate of intel. I'm always late in bumping it anyway, and since espionage costs do not scale with budget, it is now just a small fraction of my budget. We're still at 45,500, but we have one new build coming out soon. Building a lot of subs, building capital ships, building destroyers. Unrest is down to 0. We had a disappointing year in base resources. We only grew 857. That's pretty anemic compared to the previous few years, but okay. We also lost some resources from Shanghai and Liaotong. It's not crippling, but it dropped to 60. So if you... Yeah, so quite disappointing, really. Budget is up to 20. Budget modifier, so that smells a lot like war to me. So the yearly budget is up, and it's now very good overall, I would say. And we have that 1.5 to 1 ratio with large part. Well, the modern part of our fleet is active. We have the legacy stuff in reserve, or in mothball to be exact. Reserve is very solid. We're doing the B plus tier, I would say. Rapidly growing economy. Hope it doesn't slow down anytime soon. I know it will slow down somewhat, but so will it for everyone else that's growing rapidly now, except the USA, of course. Ship quality or fleet quality is very good, I would say. We are converting the small destroyers to minesweepers and anti-submarine ships. The obsolescent capital ships are just kept in mothball. I hope I don't have to use them, but I'm not ready to fully divest them yet. My potential enemies have lots of worse ships, so there is some use in some of them, I would say. Yeah, we are transitioning well. We just got 1,500-ton destroyers, but we need a few other techs like super firing turrets before they are really effective. So I've built 20 1,100-ton destroyers, and I'm building 20 more. They will join the 40 or so 900-ton destroyers to be my front line units. All of them uniform, 31 knots. Research still going like crazy. Machinery, hull, we have secondary directors, we have light cruiser director, but no secondary director for light cruisers, of course. Hull form reduces horsepower requirements for any given speed. Armor piercing, we got both the 1500-ton DDs and the X turret for the light cruiser, but we still need the B turret and preferably double and triple turret. So torpedoes, ASV, airships. We can build now small float plane carriers, so we are building 2. Amphibious hit the first one, so now we have much better invasion range. Didn't get any guns. Armor is at high. We are trying for inclined belt. That's kind of important because you can't refit it later. Costs money, but makes your belt armor just better. Setting this anti-sub to medium for depth charges. Subs will become a thing very soon. And we're waiting for those sweet 15 and 16-inch guns. But before we jump in, let's build something. I have a design for the Kitakami light cruiser. That's derived from the Isuzu. It's of course 8,000 tons. I squeezed in an extra knot, so now it's among the planet's fastest light cruisers. Not gonna stay that way forever, but for now it's fine. I removed the rear turret and put in a hangar with 2 aircraft because I don't have any catapults. I need a hangar, no matter how many aircraft I have. 4 double above water torpedo tubes, 40 mines. Compromises, I couldn't get TPS 2 with both aircraft and speed, and I couldn't get 29 knots without dropping the aircraft, and the whole point was that we were going to role play the whole float plane thing, remember? Yeah. It looks like this. 30% change, so it will take a month or 2 to develop. So basically, let's jump in. So here we are, we can just put it into production. Yeah, we will have to stop because no catapult. Feels kind of weird to build a light cruiser with 1 main gun and a director. That's kind of wasteful in tonnage and money, and like, but I cannot take it down to 7 inches because we only have 7 minus 2. So has to be an 8-inch gun. Right, Mutsu will be done very soon, and we should absolutely design that new battleship. Not sure why I didn't do that immediately. Should we go do it right away? It will take a very long time to build, so... No, we'll hold off building another battleship. We have 10, that's enough for either a lead division of 4 and 2 smaller divisions of 3, or 2 full 5-ship divisions. Now we want to wait until we have some more modern tech like inclined belt to increase our flat trajectory. Some words are very hard to pronounce. So, and also for get more tonnage and maybe better guns and who knows. And we have some light cruisers to build and more destroyers, so yeah. Mutsu. Yeah, I give it maximum publicity. What are you trying to do? Improved homogeneous armor. Hopefully we can now get inclined. Unit machinery is also nice. Because it makes engine crits less critical. More invasion range. and we get an improved version of the fighter. Companies will sometimes do this. I feel that it happens more often if you keep the same plane in service for a while. If you immediately replace them, then not so much. So the range has gone up, not a whole lot, but firepower is now acceptable, I guess. But we also have to look at it in the context of the upcoming competition. Oh, cool. Tension. Reduce chance. Whoa! Yes. We will build us some kitakamis. We can easily afford 4 kitakamis. So we will build 4. Either a full squadron of 4, but more likely 2 groups of 2. Seems to be sufficient in most cases. Now the question is, Britain is a big player here. I have more mobile fleet in Southeast Asia. Fine. If I want to move some of my coastal submarines, I kind of have to do that now. These are building. How many coastals? I have 16. I can send 8. I will send 8 and 8. This will be sent to Southeast Asia in anticipation of things to come. And I also need to get my destroyers sorted. We'll see about that as well. Increased elevation, that's nice. That's nice for all ships actually. And it's cheap and cheerful. Can be refitted into things. This should enable torpedo bombers. Air groups. Add air unit. Fighter. We will have 8 fighters. We'll have 8 float plane scouts. Again, mostly for role-playing reasons. Don gets an airbase. Harvey gets an airbase. And somewhere close to Hong Kong. Should do it for now. Invasion ranges are now pretty good. Can definitely invade the Germans, but more interestingly, we can invade Fiji, we can invade the Solomon Islands, and if we invade Solomon Islands, we can definitely get to Papua. Here we can reach Malaya and, more importantly, Burma. But you have to keep in mind that Burma is in the Indian Ocean, so taking it won't be as easy as you might think. We'll certainly try to do it. But taking Hong Kong with its base capacity of 200 will completely cripple Great Britain's ability to operate in this area. Okay, so I've reorganized my battle squadrons and my reserve squadrons and my cruisers and removed all the old destroyers from the frontline units and started filling up the relevant screen and support formations of destroyers. Bridge admin. Aito. Brilliant. Average poor ship handler. We have some air groups going. Have research. I think we can take down amphibious because we have enough range to do what we need to do now. Still haven't gotten inclined belt or those depth charges, so we're gonna continue focusing on that. Even with 4 cruisers building, we are well into the black here, so we need to figure out what we want to start building. We have a bunch of how many more do we need? We need to screen the 2nd battle division. We need to support both battle divisions. 1 to 3, that leaves us with 2, so not perfect, but these other guys aren't supposed to be fighting or empty Soviet empty squadrons. More light cruisers, maybe. Not sure. New docks, 10 subs. Finished working up. Flight deck. I think we need to build a conversion candidate here. The US got upset with me. I haven't done anything. Why? Why? No, because look at this. You cannot convert anything to that's above 16,000, but I haven't built any big cruisers that are actually fast. So converting this would give me a maximum of I mean, it's doable, but it is a 24 knot light carrier. Not amazing by any stretch of the imagination. So, yeah, not entirely convinced that this is the way forward. Or we could design an armed merchant cruiser. Yeah, give me one of the big, really big ones, please. No. Absolutely doesn't want to do that. And I don't remember which one is the big one. One is big. Could build it, convert it, bulge it. And it doesn't take long at all to build. It costs a little bit, but it's absolutely doable. This is the maximum speed. So I would have to refit the engine to get it up to 28. So it's not... and then it would, of course, drop down again if we bulge it. So neither solution is ideal, but these are just my thoughts. It is possible to just wait it out and ignore carriers for the time being, and instead wait and hope that you get the purpose-built light carrier pretty early. So that I did that with France. Wasn't perfectly executed, but it was doable. You remember a while back, I did consider building a couple of heavy cruisers with some higher speed, 24, 25 knots, but never did it. It's of course also possible in theory to convert one of these little ones, but it would be just very strange with 16. No. I mean, it cannot be done. No, that's not really viable. Let's either convert or build an merchant cruiser, a big one, convert it, or wait until we have that other tech. So I need to consider that. We should start another dock size. It increased by 3,000. Is that so? Well, that's pretty significant. So a quick study of a battleship designed in 1916, derived from the Nagato, but with a little bit of a graphical upgrade to make it look more modern. I have a tendency to just use the same image from start to finish. This time I will make an effort. I think this is based on some German design. So maximum possible is 48,500. That's 9,000 more than the Nagato. It is a very similar design, basically the same, but it is time to up the speed. So there are 3 versions, 25, 26, and 27 knots, all doable within these limitations. So a 25 knotter can be built at 45,500 and saves 15,000 per ship. I'm also kind of waiting for inclined belt, anti-aircraft maybe, and also 14-inch guns starting to feel a little bit outdated. Yeah, I didn't mention it, but this design study was using a deck of 3 inches instead of 2.5, maybe excessive in this era, because I'm not fighting at extreme range, so there's very little plunging fire. No. Looks like this is the 27 knot version. We could scale this all the way down to 25 knots and 3,000 tons less. But I'm more partial to a version with 26 knots and 2.5 deck. I think that could also save quite a few thousand of tonnage and make the ship quite a bit cheaper. And also, in theory, I could rebuild my existing battle line to match this speed. In theory, I'm not gonna do that, but I could do it. So, this is the Battle Cruiser 1916. It's been a while since we built a battle cruiser, and technology is moving ever forward. We need one that's faster. So 2 knots extra, that's doable. And we can also fit some additional armor on the turrets and on the belt, making it much less vulnerable to those 11 and 12-inch guns of the enemy's first generation of battle cruisers. I'd love to have an inclined belt, but we have to build something. So the conclusion here is that we need it. And it needs better protection, so we're adding that. So let's design and build 4. And this, I think, is the final version. Adds some secondary and tertiary battery, some additional ammunition, a pair of torpedo tubes. Has better overall protection, and more importantly, the speed is up. So here it is, Karazawa. So we will I also rearranged the visuals a little. I couldn't find another version I liked better, so I just kept this one. But I moved the turrets around and decreased the number of boats and stuff. I mean, the stacks look pretty modern, so yeah. It's okay, I think. No float planes. I don't like float planes on big ships. Everything I build is the biggest ever. So when that is researched in 4 turns, that designed in 4 turns, we can build it. But of more interest is our upcoming, I hope, war with Great Britain. What's not built out here? Destroyer squadrons, probably important. Fighter in progress. Yes, it was a good thing that I didn't. I tried to design a 1500-ton destroyer, but I realized we didn't have superimposed guns, and now we do. Yeah, I don't know why aircraft catapult is so difficult to figure out. It's also a huge fire hazard. I mean, hangars don't burn the same, planes don't burn the same, but the actual catapult, that's like a ticking bomb. And now we can build naval patrol craft. Tension reduced, increases. Okay. I love average. This doesn't feel like a ship that would ever come into play again. Same applies here. It's not a horrible chip. Too bad you can't make it go faster than 24. Yeah, the tech is progressing at a staggering pace. So this is my first attempt at a 1,500-ton fleet destroyer. Fast, 2 knots faster, 33 knots. A pair of super firing 5-inch forward and 1 aft. 2 pairs of 3-inch. 2 triple torpedoes, 16 mines. It doesn't have a lot of room for upgrades, but we could change it to oil firing later and thus free up some space. I think it'll be fine. Not a perfect destroyer, but it's looking quite good. So we will design it and we will also build some because Great Britain is building 1,200 plus ton destroyers. Also a future screen for our next generation of battle cruisers. Yeah, so it looks like this. With guns and the torpedoes and the mines. We must give it a much better name. We will call it EQ. EE 1916 Ayama. Okie dokie. Let's hit the turn button. Here you go. Kinda tempting. Not exactly free though. 12 months, 20,000. Fortunately, no TPS and bulging would bring it back to 22, which is useless. Only it could be improved to go 27. Bulge. But no. It looks a lot like mine, but it's 23 knots, but probably 24. This is an engine upgrade. Okay, exciting. So this one can go slow, but kind of far. Oh my god, no question. We got a Firepower 4 fighter that actually has the longest range, and it's maneuverable and, well, not tough, but it's not bad. And it's not a B model, so it could be further improved. So, okay. Yes, torpedo bombers, they will have range and range, because ranges are so short. Give me a second. This one dropped. That's not convenient for me. Will 10 Ayamas. Now we have a full group of naval patrol craft with that many. No one's coming to say hello to us anyway, so not important. Brilliant but poor admin. Nah. Average well-connected gunnery expert. Yes, please. Some of our oldest ships. Ooh, prestige and tension. I mean, we want tension, but we are in no rush, so we will send the old ships again. We have some very old ships just for that reason. Unit machinery, yes, absolutely. Depth charges, excellent. Bigger seaplane carrier. Low, still waiting for that sweet armor. I think I've decided not to build anything to convert to a light carrier. I'm just gonna hope that we get a light carrier directly. Quality 1 9-inch guns. That's a lot better than our quality something -1 guns. Improved triple turrets, that's important. That's enough to sort of do a rebuild of all ships with triple turrets. So not the battle cruisers, but the battleships. Torpedo. Ah, yeah, of course. Okay, I need to think about that. Yeah, we definitely have unit machinery on this bad boy. So, have to... Oh. We can do that. Oops. Okay, I can live with that. I would be more upset if it was a proper ship. So we need to get something on the water in terms of a light carrier. That's 2. Nothing has really changed there. Could have increased elevation, that's it, but how relevant is that? You can just continue researching. You just can't have it on high anymore, but we have it on medium and advantage. I figure we're fine. Southern France. Inclined belt after I started building these bad boys. Evil, evil people. More destroyers. You can never have too many destroyers, as they say. AVs don't go into divisions for some reason. And they don't have commanders. Yeah, we can have a gunnery competition. That's fine. Triple bottom, more explosive shells, new torpedo bombers. And this one has the most speed and the most range. It is extremely puny, but well, it is what it is. So, our oldest ship is now the float plane. We can do range, or we could try to get them to carry torpedoes while using bomb. Not sure how big a chance. That depends on. Oh, the time period. But my experience is that torpedo bombing with float planes is not that great. We can see unrest building now because of high budget modifier. It's not much higher than just making us keep pace with our peers. US pulling away, Great Britain slowing, Germany struggling to keep up with the US now. We're average. There are four very advanced. France has managed to hang on. These are all rather exposed if we get into a shooting war with Great Britain now. And Great Britain will definitely try to invade you. They will have trouble blockading me, so they cannot prevent me from responding like they can when I'm France, but yeah. It is without a doubt Great Britain. Fine belt, good. More AP, very good. Fleet tactics, good. Oh my god. Well. Oof. But it's close, but it's not quite there. Gonna do a very quick update to this guy. Giving him inclined belt. It doesn't weigh anything. It costs a few pennies. So be aware of that, but it will, if you now look at the immunities, well, it wasn't very good to begin with. Yeah, you can see the difference. But this is not armor against line of battle 14-inch guns. This is for dealing with cruisers and other battle cruisers. So if we go 12 inclined down to 12, oh, suddenly it's very relevant, and we're fighting in this region. Around 8 to 15,000, I would say. So it's almost like there is a plan. Yeah. Why did I suddenly have so many tons left over? Yeah, this happens sometimes. Oh, inclined belt. Now it recalculates. We're back to where. I think we can actually call this just the inclined belt. Or should we give it another name? Jonen. I'm not pulling up the PowerPoint for this. I can note it in the PowerPoint, but cruiser reserve is not important. How long until we get light cruisers? A year or so. Well, I will put my foot down. We are not promoting a below average, well-connected guy. You should always, I should have taken care of this manually, but when you see a guy that's well-connected go without a command, put him somewhere he cannot do any damage. But instead he will go to the laundry barge, but I will lose prestige. Submarines. Better 6-inch guns as well. Wow, cool. And you can see that cost me 6 prestige. So a moment of silence for the game design here. Another moment of silence. 6 moments of silence. I find it laughable, but okay, that's 3 massively big wins. But who cares? We're not using the prestige for anything, so it's just annoying. For me, it is pure annoying. And as you can see, it actually detracts from the enjoyment of the game, that the scaling of... You can never have more than 2 prestige for a win in a battle. But when you have many prestige, which I think is a nice sort of score showing how well you've done, then suddenly the penalties to prestige scales with the number of points you have. Yeah. Truly special. I think the event and officer system and the prestige system and probably more could be integrated in a more interesting manner, where you sort of felt like the prestige was a currency that you could use in a meaningful way. This 6 points, if I try to reassign some officers manually, it's also a lot of points, and it stops making sense at some point. Also, it's very tedious to micromanage the officer system. But despite that sort of letdown, we managed to make it through 1916. A lot of design work and fun. And that concludes episode 37 and 1916. No, nothing major happened. The game stole 6 of my prestige points. I feel that a couple would have been fair. 6 not so much, but whatever. I sincerely hope we will go to war with Great Britain next turn. However, this is Ruler Waves 3, so what happens is probably that Great Britain allies with someone inconvenient, and then there is war and turns into a long and glorious war. But yeah, we won't know until we play it. So thanks for watching, and see you again soon.